是怕你冲出去。
All right. So first of all, I want to welcome everybody. I want to welcome everybody to this accounting and finance virtual open house. Before I start, we have Dean Mo join us, so I'm going to let him start with his opening remarks. Go ahead, Dean.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Tan. Actually, I will be very, very short, so it won't get in the way of the session tonight. I just wanted to welcome everybody, prospective students and those who are with us already, and the faculty and everybody else. Just to let you know that we would like to basically inform you and let you know about our programs and what it is and who the faculty are and what prospects you may have when you enroll and you finish the accounting or finance program. Definitely, these two areas, both accounting and finance, are one of the highly, sought after, areas, by businesses and by corporations, by, small businesses. So job prospects for, for it is very, very high. And actually, the average salaries are much higher than other areas, as you may, imagine. Our program is solid, and we have actually revitalized both finance and accounting, totally revised. It's probably the best programs, and you can explore for yourself, hear from the faculty and what happens, what they do, and see where the credentials are and where our vision is. I will basically mute myself and get the camera off, and wish you the best, and then hopefully we'll hear from you more in the future. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dean. Thanks to Dean Mo for the opening remarks. So if you guys bear with me, I'm going to share my screen with the slides. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. So, welcome everybody to the Accounting and Finance Virtual Open House. How come it's not moving? Can you guys see my screen move?
Yes.
Okay, good, cool. All right. So this is just the contact information of everybody who is going to be doing the presentation today. We also have, in addition to Dr. Chan, September, and Ms. Bria Ellis, we also have one of our accounting faculty, Dr. Suzanne Abed, join us today as well. So if you have any comments, feel free to provide them. Okay, so this is just the contact information. So what I'm going to do is, again, we're going to go over the agenda. So I'm going to fairly quickly go over why UDC, why accounting finance specifically, and then the programs at UDC, or at least from this department. We have two programs, accounting and finance, just like what the dean said. And I'll go into a little more details about what these two programs have, especially about the special points. And then I'll talk about some of the scholarship opportunities as well as the internship opportunities. And then I'll hand over to Dr. Chan to talk about something about accounting. She's going to probably talk about the CPA and the CMA and the details of both certifications. And then we're going to have Ms. Bria Ellis, who will share her experience as a student at UDC. She's currently a double major in business management and finance with a dual concentration in marketing and lit concentration and logistics and international trade. And then after that, we're going to have Q&A session. So why UDC? First of all, we are UDC School of Business and Public Administration is accredited by ACBSP right now, and we're in pursuit for AACSB accreditation. Just to give you some perspective, currently of all the business schools in the world, only 5% is currently accredited by AACSB. So to get this AACSB accreditation is sort of the golden seal of the quality of the program that is offered by the business school. Okay. The second reason why you want to choose UDC is because qualified faculty. We have qualified faculty. More than 90% of our faculty have terminal degree, either a PhD or a doctorate. And of that, specifically within the department, 60% of our faculty actually have CPAs. So they have the practical side of the accounting aspect, and they'll be able to guide you along. If you're interested to take the CPA exam, they'll be very qualified to guide you along that. And then the next reason you want to come to UDC is because of the low faculty to student ratio, currently at around 11:1. What that means is you are much more closer to the faculty, and the classes are smaller, so you get more engagement and more interaction with the faculty. So that would enhance your learning experience. Last but not least is the affordability, and I'll explain more about that in the next slide. As you can see, this tuition cost from UDC is we have a 3-tier tuition model. So we'll divide into DC resident, DC Metro, and non-resident. Okay, so if you reside in DC, you obviously pay DC resident. If you reside in Virginia or Maryland, then you pay DC Metro. Everybody else pay non-resident, including international students. So these tuition numbers are actually based on the 2020-2021 academic year. So it's the current year that we're talking about. So if we do a comparison with the nearby schools, let's start with, I highlighted for those of you in either Maryland or Virginia, then you guys will be qualified to pay DC Metro. So if you look at that, we are about 9836. When you compare with UMBC, University of Maryland, Baltimore County, or University of Maryland, College Park, or Virginia Commonwealth University in Virginia, our tuition are actually cheaper than them compared to going the in-state. When you come into us, you're at Metro, okay? And it's a no-brainer when you are a out-of-state sort of a student coming out from, say, you're from, I don't know, North Carolina, for example, then you would qualify as an out-of-state for those schools, and you would have to pay $27,000 to $36,000 per academic year. Whereas when you come to UDC, you're only going to be paying $17,180, almost, I don't know, about 30 to 40%, and in some cases, 50% less than what you would have paid in those other schools. So then why accounting and finance? As Dean mentioned, it's high in demand. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the approximate job growth in this area is around 10% for the next 5 to 10 years. Okay, and being an accounting or finance major does not necessarily mean that you will be working in the accounting or finance industry. That does not mean that, right? You can be an accounting major working in the accounting field in a manufacturing firm, for example, or in the fashion industry, right? Fashion industry also needs accountants, also need finance professional. So you're not just limited to the industry, but rather you actually open up into different industries. And obviously there's a lot of other leadership opportunities at the top, right? You hear a lot about, when you move up the corporate ladder, you become either the controller or the CFO. And in a lot of many cases, when they promote this, when they want to promote someone to the CEO, many times they oftentimes promote the CFO because that person knows numbers, okay? And for our graduates, a lot of our graduates actually go to the so-called the Big Four, right? The KPMG, the EY, the Deloitte, and the PwC. We have some graduates who actually go go on and work at DC government. Of course, not everybody goes to the workforce, join the workforce after graduation. Some actually chose to pursue graduate school. So we do have some students or alums who's currently or have graduated from the various schools, including Cornell, American, George Washington. And I believe there's one recent one who actually went on to complete the program in George Mason. So again, the prospect of our graduates looks very, very bright. So let's talk a little bit about the programs. As mentioned earlier, we currently have two bachelor's programs. The bachelor's program, the BBA in accounting, which requires 124 credits. And we also have the BBA in finance, which requires 121 credits. I highly encourage students who's in the accounting side or in the finance side who wants to take the CPA, double major in either accounting and finance. And in that case, they would require either 15 to 24 more credits in order to get the double major. In addition to the double majoring, there's also a concentration that is open to accounting majors as well as finance majors. That's the logistics and international trade concentration. And that concentration requires 4 more courses or 12 more credits. One of the highlights or the program highlights that we have, it's all about experiential learning. So for accounting students, one of the electives that students can take is called the accounting practicum, where they participate in the VITA tax clinic, which, by the way, is currently in session. We are actually one of the few sites that is still in operation in DC. Okay, so that VITA program is called Volunteer in Tax Assistance Program. So we help students and professors help residents file their taxes for free. And we also have internships, and I'll talk more about the internship opportunity as well. We also do go on field trips. Obviously, that's all before the pandemic. We go to either in DC, we went to the Federal Reserve Board. We also went to the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, and I've also led student groups to actually Chicago, where we actually visited the exchanges and also the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago. I'll talk a little bit more about the study abroad. We have not really materialized on the study abroad part, but it was initially planned to go on the trip in the summer of 2020. But because of the pandemic, we have no choice but to cancel the trip. So, and then the last thing I want to talk about the experiential is the simulations. A lot of the courses in accounting and finance, you actually are sort of getting involved with playing or involved with simulations. So the simulation tries to simulate the real world, and you will make decisions based on the environment and all the factors coming into play. Okay. So these are the courses in the respective programs that is on highlight. So in accounting, when you become an accounting major, you would take these courses. The one at the top, the first group on the top are the required courses, and then the one at the bottom are the elective courses. Okay. So if you complete a program in accounting, you'll be very well equipped to be able to take and pass the CPA, as well as the CMA, of course. And Dr. Chan will talk more about the CMA and the CPA and the difference and stuff. For the finance side, you'll have to take intermediate accounting and the finance courses that are listed there. And if you're interested in modeling, there's a new course called Financial Analytics and Models. We're also in the process of developing a new course called Risk Management. It's not being offered right now, but we will be developing it in the summer. Hopefully by the spring of next year, we will be able to offer it to the students. So these are the pictures or photos that we took when we were on our field trip. Let's start with the top left. The one in top left is actually at the Federal Reserve Board in DC, right? So we went there, we learned about the currency, how the process of the monetary policy by the Fed, and we also actually learned about, does anyone know how many regional banks in the Federal Reserve system? Anyone knows that? Or how many district banks does the Federal Reserve have? That's okay. I'll let you know it's 12, but you can Google it. It's very interesting. Each bank is in charge of a particular geographic area. Okay. But the headquarters, so to speak, the board is at Washington, D.C. So periodically, the president of the Federal Reserve will actually travel to D.C. to come in for meetings. So on the bottom left is actually at the Chicago Council on Global Affairs. We went there, we went to Chicago, and it turned out that they have an event there. So we also participated in an expert panel that we didn't talk, but we attended the talk by the expert panel. Right in the middle on the top is BEP, which is the Bureau of the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. So that's where they print the currency, the US currency. They also print some of the certificates out there by the federal government. So it's a very interesting process. They'll show you how the money is printed or how the currency is printed and how to identify, counterfeit currency. The one at the bottom is also the Federal Reserve, but it's at a different part of the building. And then on the top right is actually when we visited one of the offices in Charles Schwab in Chicago, and we were there. So they were kind enough to host our students for 2 hours over there. So they talked about their programs, their products, and they have a management trainee program that students are eligible to apply for, and you then rotate for training in different locations. It's a good program, and we plan to still head out to Chicago the following spring again, hopefully after the pandemic is over. So at the bottom right, you'll see that, you see the bell. That's not the New York Stock Exchange. This is actually at the Chicago Board Options Exchange. So where you see, you can imagine, and you look, back in the day, you see a lot of people, showing the hand signals and all that about trading. That's where it is. But, obviously with technology, the number of people in those exchanges has shrunk tremendously. Okay. But still, it's a very eye-opening experience to be able to head down to the exchange and to the floor to actually get a real feel about what this whole trading is all about, right? I'm throwing this out is just, I was just imagining, hopefully, when we're able to do the study abroad next year, I really welcome everybody to participate and go with us to spend about 30 days, about a month in China. The majority of the time will be spent in Beijing. And after our stay in Beijing, we will take the bullet train or the high-speed rail, as you can see in the bottom left, where it travels at around 300 kilometers per hour. And then we'll travel from Beijing to Shanghai. So Shanghai, you can see, is at the top left and the bottom right. Those are, as you can see, the very popular Pearl Tower over there, right by the Bund, as they call it. So anyway, and then we'll spend 2 days in Shanghai. We'll visit one of the companies, insurance company in Shanghai, before heading back home to the US. So let's talk about the scholarship and internship opportunities. This year, we just started our relationship with Structured Finance Association. They were very kind enough to offer 2 scholarships of $10,000 each to our students. The actual scholarship is actually, the application is still open. It actually closes next week. So you have about a week to apply. This is the first time, and we're really excited about their support on that. In addition to the scholarship, they're also providing paid internships for our students that is going to start in the summer. The application for the paid internship have closed. They are now in the process of interviewing the students for the internship. Through our connection with Structured Finance Association, we got in touch with Wristband, and they also are willing to support us by providing one spot for paid internship starting in the summer of 2021. So this summer, this particular application for this internship is still open. You still have about a week to apply for this particular one. If you're interested, feel free to send me an email and I'll provide you with the details of this application. And of course, we have at the School of Business and Public Administration, we have various scholarship awards that is going to be given out to students. Those application, I believe, closes tomorrow. So you have one more day. If you're interested, look it up. It's on our UDC's SBPA website under scholarship. You'll be able to see the application right there. We also have ties with the DC Superior Court Office of the Auditor Master, and we have student interns that have done internship, students that have done internship with them during the past 2 years. Because of the pandemic, we haven't got in touch with them too much for this particular summer, but they have been in touch with us for the past 2 summers for possible internships. In fact, their internship is not necessarily restricted to only the summer. They can actually offer internships during the academic year, so during fall or spring. Okay. So any questions so far before I pass out, or I pass the baton to Dr. Chan? If you have questions, feel free to type it out onto the chat area, and we will respond individually at the end of the presentation. Okay, so go ahead, Dr. Chan.
Okay, so today I welcome to the this open house, and I would like to talk about the CPA and CMA certification, both for the CPA actually for accounting major, but the CMA for both accounting and finance major. So first, I like to talk about the CPA and the CMAs, the career paths. So CPAs have a variety of career paths. In the public accounting, you can work in audit, tax, and management consulting areas. In business and industry, you can choose careers in companies of all size, working in financial accounting and reporting, management accounting, financial analysis, and treasure cash management. CMAs work in different areas in business and industries, such as like financial and planning and cost management, internal controls, corporation finance, risk management, and investment. So CMA's job titles include financial analyst, management accountant, cost accountant, financial risk manager, corporate controller, chief financial officer. So a little different. Okay, so next slide. We talk about the CPA. CPA exam, the total title is Uniform Certified Public Accountant Examination. It's developed by the AICPA. with significant input and assistance by NASHBA and the State Board of Accountancy. The CMA is offered by the Institute of Management Accountants. CMA means Certified Management Accountants, and that's all. And CMA. So I will talk about how to apply the CAPA and the CMA and how to apply the certification. Okay, in this slide, talk about the CPA exam application requirement. And for CPA exam application, you are required to hold a bachelor accounting degree and plus 120 hour undergraduate semester hour or equivalent. Some school, if it's they use quarterly. It's called quarter, not semester. It's quarter. I don't know. I heard before, but I never know which school use. So you need to provide probably 180 hour, and plus you need to complete some specific subject area. UDC program, the accounting program, can provide all courses for DC, Maryland, and Virginia. There's a special requirement. We can match. Okay, and so I list the detail. Next one, CPA license application. CPA license. If you want to apply the CPA license, first, of course, you need to pass CPA exam. Total 4 sections. And you also need to complete 150 hours. This is semester hour. So quarter credit hour need 225, and plus 1 year work experience in accounting area. Okay, the next slide, please. Any question? If you question, please let me know. Okay. CMA certification application requirement. If you want to learn the CMA certification, you will need to meet the following requirement. So first, hold an active IMA membership and complete and pass 2 CMA exams, and hold a bachelor degree from accredited college or university. And next one, abide by IMA's statement of ethical professional practice. Last requirement, have 2 continuous year of professional experience in management accounting or financial management. So CMA certification for management accounting, managerial accounting. Okay. Next slide. We look at there's a test contents. Okay. CPA exam include 4 sections. First one, auditing and attestation. Second, business environment and concept. Third, financial accounting and reporting. Fourth, regulations. Okay, so if you are interested, well, I would like to share with you the course mapping. And the CMA include two-part exams. Part 1, financial planning, performance and analytics. This 4 hours test include 100 multiple choice question and 30 minutes essays. Part 2, strategic financial management, 4 hour, 100 multiple choice questions and 30 minutes essays. 30 minutes essays. Okay. And the last part, I would like to recommend you some study materials. That's all. For CPA, you can use, so I recommend Becker material, the material, the review material from Becker, from Gleim, from Wiley, from Roger, from Sargent. I used Becker, Gleim, Wiley, specifically Gleim and Wiley to pass my CPA exam. And the CMA, I recommend Becker, Gleim, Wiley, and the Sargent, the 4 publishers. So to my knowledge, most successful, the CMA, they use Gleim and Wiley. Okay, that's all for my part. So, any question?
Thank you, Dr. Chan. Any questions for Dr. Chan? I just want to piggyback on what Dr. Chan has just said about the CPA and the CMA. One thing about this CMA is that for CPA, you have to have 120 credits before you can take the CPA exam. That is not true for the CMA. You can actually take the CMA while still going to college. So before you graduate, you can take the CMA. Okay, you don't have to take the CMA after you graduate. You can take it before you graduate, as long as you think that you know the contents that's going to be tested in the CMA. Okay. The other thing I want to share is that there are also some scholarship opportunity for the CMA. If you apply and if you receive the scholarship, and that scholarship will pay for your entrance fee and your test fees, and they will also include the study guide for your preparation of the CMA. I just want to piggyback, just add on this extra information. Thank you, Dr. Chan. So, any questions or comments from anyone? If not, let's move on to we'll have Ms. Bria Ellis share her perspective, and then after that we'll have a Q&A, and it will open up to questions from anybody. Okay, go ahead, Bria.
Can you hear me and see me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so my name is Bria Ellis. I am a senior. So I originally came here through the community college, and I was a business management student, but I actually went to the open house about maybe a month ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago. And I was really interested and decided to talk to Professor Tan, and then realized I only needed 5 more classes to basically graduate with the double major. So that's what I ended up doing. So now I'm a double major in finance and business management. And I have 2 concentrations. One is in marketing and one is in lit logistics and international trade analytics. So a bit about my journey to UDC. Initially, I dropped out of Temple University in Philadelphia. I came back to DC. I kind of was unsure what I wanted to do at the time. I just started working. I ended up working at a bar as a dishwasher and a server, and then realized that I would kind of be stuck with like a menial job. So at that point, I realized I need to go back to school and get some sort of education. I took some classes at the community college, just like general courses. After a certain point, I realized I should just study business. It's a broad topic. I felt like, it would be useful to study that. So that's what I did. Eventually, I transitioned to the main campus and I became a full-time student and started becoming really active on campus. And then later on in 2019, I became an ambassador, one of the first ambassadors for the LIT program. And if you have any questions about that, I can answer that. And the picture at the bottom was like the first group of student ambassadors for the LIT program. And it is a paid position. So if you want to talk later about that, I can share more information. Next slide. Okay, so highlights of being a LIT ambassador. One of the highlights of being a LIT ambassador was just the different opportunities that come our way. I guess we're kind of distinguished, or the school sees us distinguished from other students. So some different opportunities come up for us. Specifically, the biggest highlight was actually being contacted by Amazon and being able to be a part of their 3-day conference in which they had like different students from other HBCUs, and we went there and represented the university. So that was a really big deal. So as my role as a student ambassador, I advise students about the program and the benefits of the program. I actually helped develop my leadership skills and also my public speaking skills, because I know here all of us had to take public speaking as one of the general classes. And I remember when I took that course originally, I was so nervous. Like I hated speaking in front of people. Like I remember we had to do like a 5-minute presentation, and like my nerves were so bad. Like the anxiety was terrible. But like after practicing more and more, I'm more comfortable speaking in front of groups or in virtual settings. Also, one of the highlights was actually being able to conduct research on behalf of the university, and I was able to win an award for that. And I also presented at various international research conferences, which mostly happen to be virtual these days. But that was a big deal, and that's just one of or several of the benefits of being a part of the LIT concentration. Next slide. So my current and future plans, like I mentioned earlier, I decided to pick up the finance degree. Also, I am starting an internship at a company called Capital Group, which is based out of Los Angeles, and I'll be doing it over the summer. And it's kind of a big deal because they're they're the 9th largest asset management companies in the entire world. They actually have about $2 trillion of assets under management. So I literally went from working as a dishwasher to working for one of the biggest companies in the world. So there's that. Thanks, GDC. I'm going to be starting my finance courses in the fall. I'm also taking an SIE exam in the fall, which basically preps you for getting licenses to sell like stocks and do financial advising and other different things. I'll be graduating next spring, and I hope to either work for JP Morgan or HSBC after I graduate, hopefully. Next slide. Thank you. So takeaways, I kind of wanted to highlight my journey just to kind of show you that, I mean, I'm from DC, I'm a regular person. I went from having no direction to, really being able to kind of partner with my professors and them really showing me the right way to go about, my college career and really, as they say, grabbing the bull by the horns, basically getting involved in any opportunities that come my way. And I kind of wanted to share that with you to do the same thing. Secondly, I just want to highlight the professors. I know initially in this meeting, I think Dr. Tan mentioned like the student, the low faculty student ratio situation. That's definitely a big thing, because when I was at Temple University, we would have lectures with like 300 other students, and there was like a teacher assistant, and the professor didn't even grade your assignments. He didn't know who you were. They only knew you by your student ID number. So it was very impersonal, but it's completely different here, as you probably know. If anything comes up, I can always reach out to a professor for help, email them, call them, and they're just very readily available to help us, which is a really big deal, and is a great asset to the program. And also, I want to highlight that it's never too late to consider a second major. As I mentioned, like just the other day, um, I was just going to graduate in the fall and go on my way. And I'm like, wait, I only need 5 classes to get a double major. Like that seems like a good like way to spend my time. And basically, you're getting 2 majors for the price of one. So I mean, unbeatable. Next slide. Oh, okay. Well, that's it. You can reach me on my email or just like if you have any questions in the chat, I'll answer anything you have. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Bria. Thanks for sharing your perspective as a student. It definitely provides a lot of motivation. I mean, for the students especially. Thank you. So this is the this is obviously our contact information. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to unshare the slides, and I'm going to be putting my email onto the chat box. So if you have anything in particular that you want to contact me, feel free to shoot me an email. I'm going to stop sharing the screen. So let's open it up to any questions that you guys may have. Let me quickly type in my email first before I forget. And I already saw a question. Actually, the question is from Bria. So Bria said, which internship opportunities offer in the academic year, specifically in the fall? The internship is the one by the I can't remember the name. Let me double check that. Make sure I get the right name. I don't want to give you the wrong information. It's called the DC Superior Court Office of the Auditor Master. But for that particular internship, they're looking for accounting majors because they're in the auditor office. So it's for accounting majors only. So any questions that you guys have, anyone at all? If you feel like you want to answer or you want to ask the question, verbally, you can. Just unmute yourself and ask. We're open to any questions that you have with regards to the program, or or you have about finance or accounting or the program or UDC or SBPA. Anyone have any questions? Now we're in a Q&A session. Any question from any one of you? That'll
Dr.
be a
Chen,
good time.
there
Yes.
was a question in the chat. There was a question earlier in the chat. I'm sorry. Bria wanted to know if you could go over again the scholarship opportunities that you were discussing earlier. I'm sorry, internship opportunities.
Yeah, I did respond to that. That is the DC Superior Court Office of the Auditor Master. That's for accounting majors only. I did respond to that.
I'm
already.
sorry.
No, that's fine. No problem. No problem. Any other questions from any one of you? Don't be shy. This is a great time. This is the time to actually clear your doubts. Feel free to ask. Go ahead.
My name is Carnell Lofton. I'll be a finance major for the class of 2023. I'm a transfer student. I don't really have a question about the finance program. You guys definitely explained a lot about that, so I appreciate that. But I just want to know your opinions of, do you guys think there'll be in-person classes next semester?
Okay, so this is a general question. Good question. Actually, I get asked a lot. In fact, I'm asking my dean about this question as well. Right now, we have not heard anything official from the university administrators. But given, again, this is my guess, given the vaccination situation, I think we're gonna be most likely going back to campus for fall. No guarantee, but that's just my best guess, so to speak. I'm not sure if that means anything because, I'm not obviously I'm not the final decision maker. I'm just speculating, but speculating hopefully with information. Because if vaccination works, if everybody or the majority of the population gets vaccinated, then I think chances are that not all the classes, I'm sure not all will revert back to campus, but the majority of the classes will get back to campus. Does that help? Does that answer your question?
It does. Yes, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have a question. I wanted to apologize for coming in late. I actually have a class this evening, so there was an overlap.
Sure.
Did you record this by any chance? Because I definitely like to know more. I'm a business admin major, but I do have to endeavor to go into accounting. And I was just looking at the possibility of a program in case I find myself really.
We do. This back to your question, this session is recorded. I will work with our IT person to actually have it posted onto our School of Business website, where you can then watch the recording, with a click. In fact, we have 2 previous open houses, which are virtual and has been recorded. They are already posted there. I mean, obviously, some information between the open houses will be overlapping, right? With minor changes between each and every open house. But feel free to go to their website, to the site, and look at the previous 2 information. Maybe you can find that information already, posted, that whatever you want to learn. If not, wait for a few more days and we will work on posting this the latest recording of the session onto that site. Does that make sense?
Great, I'll do just that. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, by the way, hello? By the way, if you have any question about accounting major, you cannot find in the virtual open house, the video, you can email me or email to Dr. Susan Abed. So any question, and you can email us, and I would like to answer your question and to help you to figure out what accounting about.
Okay,
Okay.
that's great.
So
Is
just,
your email part of the original email sent out
my
about this particular?
email,
yeah, let me, but how about you type your email
I
address
type my
onto the chat.
email.
You
Okay.
type your email onto the chat. So
Okay.
I just also
I
want
type
to,
to everyone.
I also want to let everybody know that if you have a specific question, or if you want me to look at your transcript from your other school and see, what courses can be transferred, or if you think of switching a major or double majoring or triple majoring, if you want, how does it look and how does it affect your graduation date? How far does it put you further out? You are welcome to contact me individually, and I'll be happy to work with you to evaluate your transcript to see, where you stand or how many credits can be transferred into UDC if you're not from UDC. If you are from UDC, but you are a different not from the accounting or finance major, and you're thinking about switching to this major, I can also work with you to look at your potential credits. Hopefully, no loss in your credits that you earn. I'll try to work with you on that. Does that help?
That's very helpful.
Good. I see someone came in a little later. Annie,
So-
specifically, do you have any questions?
So
I'm-
Hannah Rexon, it seems you are in my class, right? So ask a question, how do I know I qualify for CPA? So my slide, I answered this question, and my slide, we talk about how do you know. First, you need have a bachelor degree, accounting or finance. If you are finance degree, but you need, depend which state you apply, and you need take the courses. Every state has specific required courses you have to take, and your accounting or finance bachelor degree and your 120 credit hour, and another is you take the courses the state required, and after you complete, you need submit application form to state if you plan to take with any state, you can apply. Yeah, you know for example, DC, Maryland, Virginia. If you are not living in the DMV area, you can apply like Delaware, like you are any state, and you need to submit application form, and so get approved from the state, and then you can apply the exam.
Just to piggyback on what Dr. Chen said, to put it simply, if you graduate from UDC with an accounting degree, you are qualified to take the CPA. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Thank you. Let me explain a little. I have a BA degree in accounting from back home. It's not from UDC. I evaluated, it's evaluated already, and I have equivalent here. And now I'm studying, I'm taking accounting courses.
Okay, so you're saying you're taking accounting courses here at UDC as
Yes.
a non-degree seeking student?
Yes.
Okay, then in your case, then you have to have the various board of accountancy evaluate your credential and make sure that they deem you qualified to take the CPA, right? Because you're not getting a bachelor's an accounting degree from UDC, then it's not our decision to make it. As Dr. Chen said, is going to be dependent upon which jurisdiction you're trying to apply for the CPA. If you're trying to take the DC one, contact the DC Board of Accountancy and have them evaluate your transcripts, and they will tell you what you need or what you lack. Then take those and prove it to them and show it to them. Then you'll be qualified to take the CPA exam. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
Sure.
By the way, if you plan to take CPA exam, even some courses not required to provide, but I still recommend to you find somewhere like UDC to take the non-degree the courses. Like two courses I recommend you take. First is advanced financial accounting. You know, self-study too hard for everybody. So Dr. Susan Abed now teaching this class, and another I recommend you have to find somewhere to take. It's advanced taxation. Some school call corporate taxation. So this part for you self-study too hard. It's tedious. So and another, so governmental accounting, that's a different you know, the system. And so governmental accounting, advanced financial accounting, and advanced or corporate taxation. So these three courses, please find somewhere to take and to save your time.
I took those courses already. I took them.
Okay.
Good. So I'm not sure if that applies to you. If you're interested, I'll be happy to look at your transcript and see if you can get an accounting degree from UDC. Then you don't even have to worry about that stuff. Again, it's up to you. You make a decision whether do you want to do it or you want to stick around as a non-degree seeking student. It's okay. I mean, you still take your courses that you think you should, and then qualify to take the CPA. Does that make sense?
Yes, I'll email you. Thank you so much.
Sure. No problem. No problem. Any other questions from anybody? Okay. I mean, I don't want to be calling names because that I really don't want to put people on the spot. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to contact me personally. If you have any specific questions, if you have accounting questions, feel free to reach out to Dr. Chen or Dr. Abed. And or if you have finance or in general programmatic question, feel free to shoot me an email. Okay. Okay. If there's no other questions, I'll stop the recording, and we will end the session. I appreciate all you guys, having come in to join us on this, I guess, exactly 1 hour open house. And we wish that it helps clarify stuff, provide you with information. And hopefully I'll see you in the future when we get back to campus at some point. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Hannah, you are in my class now, right?
Yes, yes. I am
Yes.
in your class, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any question, any detail, let me know.
All right. Okay. I'll
How to
contact.
access.
All right.
Okay, take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. James Bond. Here.